Aggression-based matchmaking is destroying this game.
Okay, that was pretty dramatic, but I do think it needs to change. Hello Raiders, I'm Chestplate. I enjoy long walks on Buried City and playing with my pet rooster. I want to start by saying I'm friendly. I play mostly in solos, so that's what I'm going to be mainly talking about in this video. Now, I like killing Ark as much as the next raider, but I also enjoy PvP. Usually those who shoot at me first. And this is the problem. No one's shooting. I've been shot at twice in 100 raids, and one of them was an accident. Now, I'm not trying to say this is entirely a bad thing. I'm pretty sure all the cheaters are in the other lobbies, which is a really nice change of pace. I can get my quests done, easy peasy, and everyone I run into is super nice, and they just usually want to raid with you. Hello? But when this is all there is, the tension dissipates. I know that every person I run into is friendly before I even load into the game. I'm convinced mushrooms don't even exist anymore. And people are less talkative because it's just expected that everyone's friendly. I even saw somebody just surrender in front of me. They didn't care about anything they had. But I want to be clear, I'm not trying to destroy these lobbies or the aggression-based matchmaking system at all. My goal is to try and bring tension back, as well as to allow players like me to get unstuck.
Now I can relax.
And I think I know how it can be done. But first, let's take a look at some of the players that we have.
The Sweats.
These are, of course, the PvP chads, and with aggression-based matchmaking, they find themselves in the best position. They wanted PvP, and they got it.
The Ark Killers.
These are your PvE-focused gentlemen. These players are in the second best position. You can only down a Rocketeer so many times before it gets boring, but the Queen and Matriarch fights are still engaging, so I definitely understand why people are still enjoying PvE. But how long is that going to last? Until they start adding additional PvE challenges like zones with crawling Ark, like there's just way too many, or things like the Emperor. I think PvE players are going to get bored faster than PvP players.
The rats.
As stated in my previous video, these players are going to play this way regardless of game mode. So we shouldn't be catering to this playstyle anyway. And who cares about them? And then there's me.
The Hybrid.
We have no problem being friendly, but we also love to fight it out. And we are by far in the worst position possible. With aggression-based matchmaking, we end up getting stuck because we're killing all the players we run into in PvP lobbies.
Damn, why'd you kill him, man?
True.
Kill him.
Oh! And we're friendly with everyone we run into in friendly lobbies. So unless you manipulate your matchmaking by going into lobbies and quitting, you just kind of have to ride it out. If there is a middle ground, I don't think we get stuck in there long enough for it to be enjoyable for our playstyle. And this is all because the aggression-based matchmaking scale is tipped completely. This game was at its peak when the majority of the community felt that solos were about 80% friendly, duos were about 50-50, and trios were all out war. It just worked. You came into every lobby uncertain of who you were going to run into, and you had to actually trust people that said they were friendly. And sometimes it bit you in the ass. But I think all we have to do is try and tip that scale back a wee bit, and we're going to be able to bring tension back to every raid we load into. Now, I think it would just have to be something like having a small chance, and when I say a small chance, I mean like maybe every 5 to 10 raids, for someone from the opposite side of the scale to be placed in the opposite lobbies, and vice versa. What this is going to do is going to bring tension back to every raid, because you never know if you're in that 1 out of 10 raids that has a few villains in it. Even though you're mostly loading into the same types of raids you have been with lots of friendlies, there's going to be that chance where there's a couple of villains to shake things up. And yes, that may invite the occasional rat back into the mix, but I do think it's worth it to bring us back to the game that we all got addicted to on release. Another option would have to be a more substantial middle ground. or a mixed lobby, as they're saying. But I don't really know how you would achieve this beyond just letting players choose, and of course that's not going to work either, because then players are just going to pick that lobby regardless of how they play. But I do think this would be the best option if that's possible for players like me, because that gives us the half friendly, half unfriendly mix of players that we're looking for. There is a third and final option that I've come across, and it's something that's gained a little bit of traction already. I'll put a link down below to the video I'm talking about, but it's a video from Darth Trooper Gaming. They were discussing factions, and it's something that's very interesting. The video is really well done, so I definitely recommend you go check it out. I only worry with something like this because I think it limits your choices beyond choosing your faction. You end up pigeonholing yourself into a way of playing just based on what the attributes of that faction are. So I do worry that it's a bit of a big overhaul for this game. Definitely a very interesting idea. In conclusion, I think the best option to implement right now would be to tip the scales back just a little bit, unless they can figure out a way to have a more substantial mixed lobby for players like me. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys topside.